There was one point I said, look, I just don't want to go anymore. This is too much. I'm just a normal person. I don't have the tools to be able to deal with this. No. And because of this Reform Exposed post, the death threats started coming in. And I'll be very honest with you. It was a very dark time. I was suicidal. My doctor has been obviously helped. My local GP. I was put on antidepressants. It was the worst time of my life. I mean, I love my job and I love Waitrose. Yeah. I mean, you don't work somewhere for 25 years. At no point was I allowed a solicitor into any of the disciplinary meetings. I did ask, and I think they thought, well, no, this guy, bugger that he's done 25 years. We're going to throw him to the walls of wokeism.
Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Peter Whittle. Now, so many times on the channel, we have covered the diminishing of free speech in this country, and particularly how it affects people who are not necessarily in the public eye. So I'm delighted that my guest this week is Ben Woods. You might have seen what's been happening to him in the newspapers. Thank you for joining me, Ben, very, very much.
Peter.
Thank you. Now, to bring people up to date, because I know you're going to tell us your story, you have, first of all, you were suspended by your employer, which is Waitrose. Yeah. And now this week you've actually been fired, haven't you? Yeah. Yes. Now, Ben, if we just take us back, this is entirely down to various things that you wrote on social media, is it not? Yeah. Can you tell us how the whole thing sort of started?
Okay, well, I've set up, when it was Twitter, an account as a hobby. I mean, I'm passionate about wine, which is what my role was within Waitrose, sorry, and politics as a whole, and found it was a good platform to be able to engage debate, discuss what was going on, in our country, and in politics as a whole. Yep. So it's something it was over 10 years ago that I set it up. Never once was I asked to set this up by Waitrose or the partnership or by any management in the company. It's purely something that I set up for my own hobby. Right. So that's, I wanted to get that really clear. So it's a personal thing. Yeah. And I've always been very open with that, all views of my own. So I suppose the last 3 months, it's all exploded, so to speak. January the 4th, I posted a tweet saying, raise your hand if you believe there should be a national inquiry into the grooming gangs. Yeah. And that was in the news at the time, and it was a topical subject that was being discussed throughout the whole country, and an important subject.
We've discussed it many times on here.
Yeah, well, and so it should be. Yeah. So I mean, look, Elon Musk saw the post and said, yes, I totally agree, Ben, and he reposted it and pinned it to his profile. By doing that, the post got seen by 63 million people.
63 million?
63 million people, yeah. So quite exciting when you see Elon Musk commented and then reposting something that you've posted. Yeah. Obviously, at the time, he was very interested in British politics, I believe still is. Through that, I had a lot of people engaging in that post and talking about it, good and bad. Some people who completely disagreed with it. I mean, I don't really know why they were disagreeing.
How you can, I don't know.
Because it's a question, really. Yeah. I'm saying, my account is written mainly based on engaging people in open debate. Whether you're left, right, or centre. I mean, some of the best conversations, as you probably Peter yourself, is when you've got people from both sides of the platform engaging in good, honest, and open debate. Yeah. So, I mean, it got picked up by some accounts who, one of them is Reform Exposed. They run an account that they try to expose Reform supporters, members, supporters. Sadly, Rupert Lowe's been attacked by them. They accused him of being a white supremacist. Luckily, Rupert's got a legal team. Just as a worker at Waitrose, I don't have that sort of ammunition to fight back. So what this account did, they found out, used quite a bit of resource and found out who I was. They then managed to get some pictures of me doing my job, which was on our Waitrose Instagram account, which is an open to the public.
Right.
They took those pictures and then published, did a post saying, this is Ben Woods. He is a white supremacist, far-right, fascist Nazi. He runs the account Ben on Wine. He works for Waitrose Henley-on-Thames in their wine department as their wine specialist.
Yeah.
And then they posted that, and it was a picture of me. They also, they've also posted pictures of me being heavily doctored as a Nazi officer.
Right.
At my job. So using Photoshop to...
Hello, please excuse this brief interruption, but I'd be really grateful if you could please hit the subscribe button and subscribe to our channel. Our mission is vitally important, and we must grow this channel to ensure that our content reaches the biggest possible audience. The best way to do this is for you to subscribe. It's totally free. And in addition to subscribing, if you're able to donate or join our membership scheme, please click on the link in the description or visit our website, newcultureforum.org.uk. We've got great plans ahead, but we can't do it without your support. From only £4 per month, you'll receive a range of perks and benefits, including exclusive content. Thank you. And this was entirely after the Elon Musk post, was it? Where you just had said about grooming gangs?
Yes, I mean, that got... and the reason their posts got so much traction, because I was trending online.
Yeah,
my account was trending because of what Elon had commented and posted. He'd also commented on some other posts as well, where I watched a program, I think the night before, about... it was about King Charles and him dissolving Parliament. It was a drama.
Yeah,
I think with Leslie Pickett-Smith.
I know one.
He bangs on the doors of Parliament and goes.
That's right. Yeah. It's a drama fiction.
It's a complete fiction drama. But I thought it's an interesting question.
Yeah.
I mean, I raised this question to my followers and people on X and said, should the King dissolve Parliament? And with the state of the country at the moment, should the King dissolve Parliament? Does he have the right to dissolve Parliament, or is it something that he does? So again, a question that I thought was quite interesting. Again, Musk interacted with that tweet. That one then got seen by over 80 million people. So it went viral again. So with that comments from Elon Musk, I was trending on X, on social media. So when this Reform Exposed posted their expose of me as a far-right white supremacist, it then went viral, because then people would take it, they could see the Elon Musk interaction and then they could see this. So that post got seen by 1 million people that Reform Exposed did about me, calling me, which I would say is defamatory,
Yes.
And libel. I mean, and obviously I've contacted the police and they're doing a thorough investigation. And I'd like to say the police have been fantastic.
Oh, they have?
Yeah, no, they have. I mean, slow to start with, but obviously it's quite a difficult thing to
So what actually did Waitrose, who, you know, what did they do at this point? I mean, you know, so this happened, but then presumably they went through all your, is it just Twitter we're talking about, or is it Facebook?
No, I don't do Facebook.
No, it's purely Twitter.
Yeah, I do. X is what they were looking at. That's what I do. So no, when I walked into work, happened on Saturday the 4th of January, and I went into work. Everyone in the shop was very excited that I'd been reposted by Elon Musk.
Yes,
it was quite the talk of the shop, and as the day went on, and because of this Reform Exposed post, the death threats started coming in.
Death threats?
Yes. So somebody else, I won't mention it because the police are doing part of their investigation. It's another person had posted something saying, again, calling me a far-right fascist, do with this information what you will. So I think really trying to, destroy my job, livelihood. Destroy me and silence me. And I think which is quite sad. Well, whether you disagree with someone, I've always believed that people have the right to express themselves. Sadly, it seems to be, on the left, people they're intolerant to anyone else's opinions but their own, sadly. So the police came to the shop in Henley, and we decided that it was best if I went home. So I wasn't suspended at that point. Me and the police made that decision for my own safety. As the weeks went on, I was then, obviously, as you can imagine, Peter, it's quite overwhelming having all this hate being targeted at you. And I'll be very honest with you. It was a very dark time. I was suicidal. My doctor has been obviously helped. My local GP. I was put on antidepressants. It was extremely. You try to ignore the hate, but because my picture was out there as well. I think that's what gets you. People don't necessarily look into something, do they? They see something online and it must be a far right white supremacist. The police said, we have no problems with your posts. You've never posted anything racist or homophobic or anything that's unlawful. I consider myself I'm a conservative. I love my country. I think I love Britain, and I care about what happens in this country, and I care about the British way of life and our culture and our tradition. And just because I care about borders and I care, immigration. It doesn't make me a racist.
Well, no, but it puts you in line with about 60-70% of the country.
Well, absolutely.
This is not the point, is it? I mean, what are the kind of things? Because as I understand it, there was some kind of, they got together a kind of file, isn't that right? Well, what was it?
A dossier of what they said brought the company into disrepute. And this is the first investigation meeting, which I wasn't in the right state of mind to attend, but I was, they forced me to this investigation. I made it very clear. My doctor he said, you should not attend until you're fit. So I signed off from work as well. So I attended the first investigation meeting, which was a 5-hour interrogation of me. And my conduct, and we're talking about not something I've done at work, Peter. And this is make this very clear. It's not. I've been a dutiful employee. I've worked for 25 years for Waitrose.
Yes.
Man and boy since I was 15 years of age. It's all I know. And it feels they have just thrown me to the wolves to protect their image and identity. The partnership has has a woke ideology. There's been quite a few problems over the years. With partners resigning in protest because a man was able to use the ladies' toiletries he identified as a woman. and a member of staff, a partner, resigned in protest, saying she didn't feel safe. And I think these are important issues. So, I mean, it was at that meeting that I was then suspended.
And their reasoning was about bringing the company into disrepute.
Sorry, I went on there. The posts that you would, so there was 30 posts in all.
30, right.
That they raised.
These have all been put in, I think it was the Daily Mail published them, didn't they?
Yes.
This sort of thing that one sees all the time. I could have written so many of them myself, very, just what I would call entirely respectable positions.
Lawful,
and lawful,
I mean, one of them was a Telegraph cartoon. The guy who writes the cartoons for the Telegraph. I can't think what his name is.
Is it Mac?
I think it is Mac. I mean, he's been around donkey's years. And it's published in the national newspaper, and it was about a child failing her exam because she couldn't pick all the 47.
No, she could only pick 47 out of 100 different genders.
That's it. You've got it. Yeah. And so that was one of the contemptible posts.
Yes.
And I'd reposted that. I suppose like a lot of people in the country would have done, really, not thinking that I was going to be suspended and then eventually sacked for something like that. I mean, one of the posts as well was about back in November. The bill was going through Parliament, wasn't about the first cousin marriage. It's a hot topic. Everybody has an opinion on it. And it was a post that I raised. I said, I believe first cousin marriage is incest. Do you? What do you think about this? And I posted an image. I mean, I was worried about first cousin marriage and having the offspring from that can cause quite severe disabilities.
Absolutely.
And it's a genuine question.
Well, it's been discussed in Parliament.
It's been discussed in Parliament. So, I mean, it's if we can't engage in open, fair conversation, and it seems ever since this Labour government has come into power, our free speech is being curtailed and throttled to a point now where what people, just normal people. I mean, I'm not a public figure, Peter. I work in a supermarket, and I have a passion for politics.
But I think Ben, on that front, I think the Free Speech Union, are they helping you? Or
It's been fantastic.
Yeah, I think they're helping about around 260 people that you might call are not public figures, but are in your sort of position, people at work or whatever. What I want to ask is that they did this, they suspended you. So that was in January?
January the 24th.
January 24th. So here we are, we're in end of March.
Yeah.
And they've just this week fired you. So how did that happen? I mean, how did you get to hear about that, first of all?
So after the January the 24th suspensions, there was another, I call it interrogation, because that's what it was. And I made it very clear to the disciplinary manager at the time. I said, look, I can't go through that again. He wanted me to attend another meeting. It was, he said, well, I just want to have a discussion with you and to go through things. It's going to be a chat, really. Well, and so based on that, I spoke to my doctor, who was still quite concerned, and I was still signed off, even though I was suspended. So on that, I agreed to attend this meeting, and it wasn't a chit chat, over coffee to discuss things. When I was made to believe it was another 4-hour interrogation meeting, where they were going through witness statements, and then it became very clear to me then that the Waitrose are trying to smear my name. They were saying things that were unfounded, had completely no relation to the case, which is quite concerning. And then at the end of that meeting, he said, look, I believe there is further action to be taken. So he then said this is going to go on to another disciplinary manager. Now, from the 5th of February, when that meeting was, I didn't hear anything from Waitrose for 3 weeks. no contact whatsoever. So you can imagine, Pete, I mean, being left in limbo, I mean...
Terrible.
You know, and like I said, and I spoke to my branch manager from Henley and who was keeping in touch, not in those 3-week period, but before then. I said, look, there was one point I said, look, I just don't want to go anymore. You know, this is too much. I'm just a normal person. I don't have the tools to be able to deal with this. The publicity, my account's always been private, and it's run as a hobby, really. So I mean, their concern was it because of this doxing. It was linked to them. They said, well, your account now is linked to Waitrose. I said, well, that isn't my fault.
Yes.
I didn't go out and say, this is, I'm promoting Waitrose and these opinions are Waitrose's. Now, it's something that's very interesting, Peter, is Waitrose know about my ex account. They knew about it for years that I did this. People from head office have followed my ex account, people in senior positions. So it wasn't something that they weren't aware of. They knew about this. They knew about it in the shop. The management team in Henley knew about. I was running a social media account privately, and it was raised in July. One of the managers said, "Oh, I've seen your account. I can't see anything wrong with it. It's what you said is quite lawful things, and actually, I agree with a lot of what you say."
Yes,
and this is the branch manager of Henley raised this in July, before what happened in January. So they were very well aware of what was going on, but it was the doxing that then linked the account, and and not hearing from Waitrose for that 3-week period after the 5th of February's meeting, it was the worst time of my life. I mean, I love my job and I love Waitrose. I mean, you don't work somewhere for 25 years. You don't enjoy it. You enjoy the people. I mean, a lot of my customers were in contact, and the support from them was overwhelming and quite humbling. But nothing from work until I won't say who the disciplinary manager was. Got in touch after 3 weeks and said, "Right, I'm doing the disciplinary now." So she was a high up person from the partnership. And I said, well, look, I'm not in a good state at the moment, maybe because of the, not hearing anything. And in that time, I did speak to my manager from Henley and said, look, I've not heard nothing. I'm concerned. And he suggested to try and email and speak to our partner policy team. And again, still no word. So... the disciplinary manager who emailed me after 3 weeks then demanded a meeting, and I said, look, I need to get proper representation. I need to speak to the Free Speech Union, who have been helping me and giving me advice, because I'm not aware, I'm not a legal person, or I wanted to make sure I was doing the right thing. At no point was I allowed a solicitor into any of the disciplinary meetings. I did ask. I was told that wasn't appropriate. So in the end, I mean, I said to the disciplinary manager who was doing this, who wanted this meeting to take place, and I knew in my heart it was to sack me, really. And then it was, I found out later on, people in Henley, in the Waitrose in Henley, all knew that I was going to be sacked. They knew.
Really?
Yes.
Right.
When we arranged this meeting with the disciplinary manager for the final meeting, it was going to happen on a Monday, and Monday the 17th, and everyone in the shop were telling customers who then, because I have quite a loyal following, people who, loyal customers who've been shopping with me in the wine department for 25 years, who care about me, and They phoned me up, said, Ben, we're really concerned. Staff members are telling customers that and telling us that you've got a meeting on Monday. You will be sacked on Monday. So there was already predetermined, Peter, that I was full of goner. I raised this with the disciplinary manager, who didn't seem bothered by that. It was at that point, I was really struggling and was in a very bad place. And my doctor got me an appointment quite quickly and said, look, I suggest you do not go to that meeting on Monday. And my solicitor, Elliot Hammer, who represented me, said he was in two minds as well, whether I should attend. But I just wanted it over and done with. I think I just wanted to try and, move on and get a decision. But I said I wanted to make it clear with this manager who was going to be heading the disciplinary that my doctor has said he did not want me to attend. We weren't sure whether it was going to be a good idea. I was going to be able to defend myself properly. As if you need to be in the right state of mind.
Yes.
To be able to go into a disciplinary meeting where your job's on the line and defend yourself. My mind was away from the place. I'd just been taking antidepressants only for 2 weeks, and my doctor said, "Well, Ben, they take 2-3 weeks to really."
That's right.
Take effect and start helping, and you'll probably feel pretty worse before you feel better. So it was my decision in the end, and after I said to the disciplinary manager, I really don't feel ready to do this. She then said, well, I feel you should. You need to get this out of the way. The only way you'll feel better is by attending this meeting. So I was being forced and cajoled into this meeting. They were desperate for this meeting to take place. So I attended it. And yes, it was extremely hard. And in my mind, I felt I already knew they had made a decision. People from Henley already knew that the people in the town knew what was going to happen because specific information was already said.
Yes, yeah.
The only people who knew about this meeting was myself, my solicitor Elliot Hammer, and the branch manager of Henley and the disciplinary manager. So,
can I ask at this point, actually, Ben? Maybe you can tell me. But as I understand it, what they've done is actually illegal, is it not? They are not to actually fire you for personal views stated on social media. Are you not actually protected by any form of legislation at all?
Well, I believe I am. I believe, and this is what, I was sacked on Monday, so we are going to fight them in the tribunal. And I believe this is bigger than me now, where if they can do this to me, anybody, anybody from any walk of life has no protection. I'm sure Article 10 of the Equalities Act.
Yes, exactly.
We have rights to express our opinion. I mean, look, as long as you're not saying anything that's unlawful, which I've been talking about things that are that same narrative as what the rest of the country are thinking. Yes, it's a shame that my account was linked to Waitrose through an illegal activity that the police are investigating. So I believe if you can stop anybody from having a political opinion because they won for a company, it's like you just because I work for Waitrose, I can't vote Conservative, I can't vote Reform. It's crazy. I mean, I can't have an opinion on the trans debate or any debate.
Well, the fact is, I would say this: probably when it comes to Waitrose, or for that matter, any company, you are probably allowed to have opinions so long as they're the right ones. So if you've been, talking about various different things in a different way, they'd had no problem. This is the shocking thing about it. I mean, this might seem a silly question to ask. What is your attitude to them now, Waitrose?
Well, it's hard because I mean it's still fresh. I mean, I was I was very overwhelmed by it on Monday. I mean, when it happened, I was sad, really, because it's like I said to you, I've worked there since I was 15. I love Waitrose. Waitrose is the partnership as a whole. It stands for the people who work in it. So we're called. Well, I'm still in that thing where I still think I'm a partner. I'm not a partner anymore, but partners are co-owners in their business, and that's what's special about the partnership and about what they stand for. I just think somewhere along the line, to protect this woke ideology of the board, and I think it was a witch hunt. I think they didn't like my opinions. They didn't want to be associated with my opinions when it was illegally done. And I think they thought, well, no, this guy, bugger that he's done 25 years. We're going to throw into the walls of wokeism.
This is something that is right across the corporate world as anything else now. I think. Where does it leave you now? Now, okay. So Ben, you've had this thing this week, being fired and everything. You said that the FSU, the Free Speech Union, are being helpful. How can people watching here? How can they help you in the current situation, practically?
Practically, well, that's. I'm glad you raised that, Peter. I mean, look, I've through the FCU, and look, some advice for your listeners. If you have a political opinion, you have an employer, like most of us we will do. Join the Free Speach Union.
Yes.
I can't recommend them enough. Do that. But look, I'm doing a crowdfund to raise money for my legal fees. It's going to my legal fees, and that's it.
So what are you doing legally? First of all?
Well, first of all, we are going to appeal the decision. Which is the first thing to do. Which we're going to do. If that appeal's not successful, which I doubt it will be, we will then take them to an employment tribunal. And fight them for unfair dismissal. Right. Which I think I believe it is unfair. I believe it's not just my fight. It's a fight for anybody who has an opinion, a lawful opinion, and has a right to say it. Yes. I think that the great thing that I've had is people who say, look, we don't agree with some of your politics, Ben, but we agree with your right to say it. And they donated to this crowdfund that my solicitor has set up. If anybody would like to, to help out and small or big, whatever you can do, I mean, would be extremely grateful. And it's been very humbling, the amount of support. Well,
I'll tell you what, Bear, I mean, when we've had people in your position on before, but not in the public sector and in elsewhere, when we have made an appeal like this, they have seen a significant amount go up. So it's a crowdfunder, what's the name?
Which it's called Crowd Justice.
Crowd Justice.
And so if you type in Ben Woods Waitrose into Google and Crowd Justice, you find it.
Ben Woods Waitrose Crowd Justice. Crowd Justice.
Or you can go onto my X handle, which is Ben on Wine. And I've got it pinned to my profile. The Crowd Justice link.
This is on the X, on X.
On X, so look, if you believe in free speech, and you believe that we have a right to free speech, and we shouldn't be silenced, do our employers have the right to silence us, Peter? I mean,
absolutely not.
That's the question, and I think that's it's fundamental to our democracy and our way of life, to be able to express yourself, what you do in the privacy of your own home, is your own business. I mean, I'd like to ask, if my opinions were left-sided and then there were left liberal opinions.
Oh, none of this would happen. No, it's just a simple fact of life now.
Yeah.
None of it would happen.
I don't think I would have been suspended.
No.
I mean, instead of supporting me when I had, the police supported me as a victim, Waitrose treated me as a criminal, and they, there was no support there for me when this crime happened to me. Then to suspend me when this was all going on as well, forcing me to these interrogation meetings to try and get with the end result of getting rid of me. It is. My opinion of Waitrose and the partnership now is it's not what it once was. It doesn't protect the people who work with it. I don't think the partners are, they're force-fed opinions and ideology from the board and from the upper management to tell them what to think. There's a lot of partners who agree with me. I've not had one single person, who said, "Look, you deserve this." Who my colleagues.
No, I don't doubt it.
My colleagues have said, "God, man, if they could do this, what happened to Waitrose?" I mean, they used to be a company that really cared about the people who worked in it, and I think that's that's the important thing. I mean, if I think I need to do this, not just for me, but for anybody.
I think you do. And I mean, I think that you might not want it to have done this. You might not want it to be in this position.
I would recommend it.
But not recommend it. But, you have been pushed into it by these people.
Yeah.
And thank you. We've got a couple of more questions to ask for our members.
Yeah.
But one thing just before we sign off, what I liked when you said there, you said, look, if you are in any way concerned, people working for companies, whatever they might be, to join the Free Speech Union, I think that's a very good piece of advice, actually.
Do it. I mean, I couldn't recommend it enough.
But I'd also say to people that they should have the courage of their convictions and they're not doing anything wrong, by basically, because we're hearing it all the time. You said the police were quite good in your case, but I mean, we've covered things here where the police have turned up at night on people's doorsteps and things. But look, thank you very, very much, Ben, for coming in. All the very best for it. We will, all the very best for this ongoing appeal. And maybe come back in a few months' time and recap and tell us what's been going on.
Yeah, that'd be great, Peter.
In the meantime, thank you very, very much, Ben Woods. Thank you very much. Ben Woods there. We shall see you next week. Have a good week in the meantime, won't you? Our mission at the New Culture Forum is and always has been to defend and celebrate Britain's history, culture and its people, and indeed Western civilization, at a time when both are under sustained attack. We have grown from small beginnings to become the country's most influential right-leaning cultural think tank. Our content is watched and read by some of Britain's most influential political figures. But now, we need your help. If you believe in what we do, then please do become a member. For as little as £4 a month, you can make a vital contribution to what we do. As a member of the NCF family, you will help ensure that we can continue to produce quality content online, such as our 3 weekly programs, Whittle, which is our flagship interview show, Newspeak, our panel discussion show, and Deprogrammed, which is targeted at Britain's youth. As you probably know, in addition, we produce important documentaries, such as our critically acclaimed 6-part series, The West, a stunning celebration of the history and genius of Western civilization, and our ongoing documentary series, Heresies, with hard-hitting episodes tackling subjects such as immigration, gender ideology, and BBC bias. But the New Culture Forum is much more than a YouTube channel. We don't just complain about Britain as it is, we provide real solutions and clear policies on how we can push back against the madness and restore sanity to this nation. Our presenters are now highly sought after and have become familiar faces across the media. Our prestigious annual Smith Lecture and our regional and indeed national conferences have attracted world-class speakers. Perhaps most importantly, we are the only organisation on the right of politics that has launched a national movement without actually being a political party. And uniquely, through our NCF Locals programme, we've established some 30 active branches in towns and cities right across the nation, from Edinburgh to Exeter, and with many more on the way. We're very proud of what we've achieved, and our members have made it possible. In return, our members receive access to exclusive content, invitations to private events, free or discounted tickets to our conferences and lectures, free copies of our books, and much more. I very much hope that you'll join us too by clicking the link in the description or going to our website, newcultureforum.org.uk. Now is the time that we need your help. Thank you.